What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. This could not have been a better time community post because in this video, I'm going to go over all the fees that I found associated to what Chantal is claiming she wants to do. And you're going to see by the end of this, it's one of the most hilarious things you will ever see attempted on YouTube. So, first of all, she has this post reaction channel is not automatically fair use. She cites Ethan Klein. The amount of income Ethan has to deal with things, Chantal, is multiples of anyone in this community. So let's understand that first and foremost. The judge ruled that one instance as fair use because he used clips in a video and they thought that he had added enough of a parody, enough of an edit to distinguish it. You then say, and understand this is you, Chantal, this is not a judge. You are saying there are channels that use 100% of my content every day. I could easily argue legally that this is not fair use. And trust me, Chantal, trust me, I can't wait to see you do that. I can't wait. I think you're going to have some big hurdles to climb before you get to that point, but we'll get to those in a minute. Sitting behind an avatar is not actually reacting. Pausing to insult me every few minutes during my whole video or stream is not fair use, and it's certainly not transformative. Again, Chantal, listen, these are all opinions. It's not for me to say you're right. It's not for you to say you're right. It's not for me to say you're wrong. All of this would get handled in court. Each case is evaluated on an individual basis, and ultimately, yes, court is the end result, and a judge decides if it is fair use. That's it. I mean, that's basically where this needs to end, but you have to continue on. I would say a judge would look at years of using my content to berate me and bully me without transforming it, ever for certain channels, would be an easy win. I have not yet copyrighted my foodie beauty vlogs, but I may do just that. Chantal, I really hope you watch this video before you do that. But please, we'll continue on. I think it's only fair for creators to protect their content this way. Well, again, creators can do that. It's can they afford to do that ultimately becomes the question. Is it worthwhile to do that? Which, oh, Chantal, you're about to learn. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I love this for you. You don't see me striking creative channels. That's all I will talk publicly about this matter, but I want to warn those of you who are content thieves that you may want to change your content or remove certain vlogs of mine because in the end, I'm following through this time, protecting what's mine. I've given many, many people a free ride for years, not anymore if I can help it. Well, Chantal, I would question the free ride because we're about to talk about that, and I would really question that you could help it. But I digress. The first thing we have to understand is where is the couple's channel located? Now, for argument's sake, I am going to presume, since Chantal, Foodie Beauty, is making these posts on her main channel, that she is the one that would have the custodialship over the channel. I do know that if you go back and you look, you will find instances where the channel was in Kuwait, it was then in Canada. It does not technically say now, but I would think that the income would likely be coming through Chantal's name rather than Salah's because we know originally that was a channel she was using for an alternate purpose. We do know that it lost monetization for a couple days, and there were a lot of people that thought that the time frame in which it was unmonetized, it was either being transferred to another country or transferred to Salah. But all things being equal, we're going to take Chantal's word that she is the one being impacted by all of this when you read this, and therefore she is the one that is going to follow through on these actions. So with that in mind, we're going to take a look at a couple things here, and I'm going to go through, and I'm not going to assume, I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to leave them on the screen forever, but you can go look at these resources yourself. This is what Chantal and Salah would have to do in order to follow through on all of these actions. So if you're right now impacted by this, breathe a little easier, in my opinion, knowing this. So this is the channel, okay? $20 per every 1,000 views is pretty common on YouTube, even with multiple embedded ads, okay? We're going to have a year where there's 8 videos, roughly 60,000 views. That means this channel earned $1,200. Now, why is this important? You're pocket watching. I'm really not. I'm trying to set the example of what it would cost versus what it's actually generating, because those are important things to understand. So when you look at these copyright fees, these are all tariff fees. You can go, I left the URL, you can look at them yourself. I know a lot of you will probably just want black and white, or in this case in green. What does it actually look like? Application fee $63, a certified copy, which they'll need to keep on hand, 44, an electronic copy, 13. I don't think that's unreasonable, and that's not providing it to anyone else. So the end result is $120 per video to go out and formally have a copyright. So again, revisiting where we were with all of these videos, you have 8 of them. You are going to have to go through each one. And it's not just that. So let's look at where that puts us here. About $324 in removal request with no paperwork from the other party. So if we look at the end result here, just that single video, the most recent one, $63 application, 44 certified copy, 13 electronic, $324 in removal requests. Okay, that's just on the most recent. So when you look at your copyright expenses versus the actual estimated income of this video, it's now costing them $294 just to host this video. But don't forget, Salah was out here, gloating. Chantal was, liking this comment that remember 3 strikes means that you're losing your channel. And I'm so glad that Salah's out here reminding of these things, because if you have to do this 3 times, well, then guess what, Salah? That's 3 times the cost. So now you're looking at more expenses. So now when we look at these fees, your copyright expenses are $120. Your removal request just per video is going to be $81. And if you're going to do this 3 times over, then your cost, not so much for your copyright, because that's per video, but to go after the channel multiple times is going to be where your increase is. So 3 removal requests is going to be $241. So, we'll call it the "so I'd be careful" fee. You're looking at a total of $723, essentially per channel. And this is, keep in mind, before, as Chantal likes to say, once we get to court. Those fees are going to be completely separate, completely different. And I mean that not only because she's dealing with multiple countries, but because she's going to be dealing with multiple videos. I don't know that they're all going to lump into one. Chantal, I understand that maybe part of this was you wanted to do some revenue sharing, right? You wanted to say, hey, you're using my work, I'm going to let you use my work, but YouTube is going to essentially dock this video income, and then I'm going to receive a portion of that. While I understand in general the concept that you're going with, the issues that you're speaking about and the way that you're speaking about them are generally speaking to much larger creators, much larger bodies of work, where, as I said in my past video, you can show real damages. The problem right now that you have is when your videos are making so little, number one, your damages are going to be just as small. So whatever you think you're going to get is not going to be a multiple of what you're making. It's going to be a percentage of. It's not going to be a percentage of what we're making, understand? Because that's not how it works. I think in your mind, you think that you're going to get a percentage of what every reaction channel makes, legally going to court and fighting this. What's going to happen is you're actually only going to be held to your copyright. So it's going to be those damages. It doesn't work the other way around. So I don't know where all of this came from. I don't know what you were thinking with all of this, but I do know one thing. You've already started it and you're not in position to deal with it. Let me just, one final thing here, since Salah was bringing up these, I'd be careful fees. Chantal, I hope you understand that if you actively go out and you exploit these systems and you don't follow through on all these things, so you don't have the income to do this, the end result is you actually will be the one held accountable on the platform, and in most cases, that's losing the channel, which I understand probably wasn't making much anyway, and you like to sit there and play, Billy Bad Butt and pretend you can do all these things when we all know that you can't. But I'd be really careful with the direction you're taking this because, as I said, the only person that seems to be in the most financial peril here is you and Salah. Love to know your thoughts on this. Top comments from the last video. And you know, just like Chantal doing a copyright strike, she can't even handle. Be back as soon as I can with more commentary.